Hello everyone, welcome to Mobility Outlook. We are here at the Auto Component Show at Pragati Maidan. With me here is Mr. Shoji Shiraishi, the Managing Director of MBSI, the Mobility Services arm of Yamaha Motor Japan. Shiraishi-san, welcome to the show. It's lovely to have you with us.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Shiraishi-san. This time around, the theme is all about electric mobility.
Yes.
And you are a managing director of a company that believes in the whole aspect of mobility. So perhaps something about MBSI before we talk about the show. What exactly are you trying to?
Wow, we are a kind of service company to support any mobility service company. So that we providing that the whole set of service for the vehicles and finance and whatever kind of mobility service company necessary to make them business grow. So that we are trying to creating that the new ecosystem for that the shared mobility and more kind of enhancing the service and more kind of longer life of the vehicles, and which is good for environment, right? And also that we need to build a new ecosystem for the EV also.
Shiraishi-san, you often told me, I mean, this is a arm of Yamaha Motor Japan, but your business at MBSI, you look at every brand.
Yes.
Two-wheelers, cars,
Three-wheeler also.
three-wheeler also.
Yes.
So perhaps you could explain why. What is the thinking behind Yamaha to have this as a business?
You know that the last century was OEM era. Because OEM always can bring in new products into the market and creating the markets. But now that this century, I think the customer leading the service. Now that the all kind of the paradigm are shifting to that the more kind of user created new services and a new business. So that's why that we really like to sit with users and customers, not together with the suppliers. That's why we really like to hear the customer's voice, what type of service are necessary and what type of vehicles are kind of required. That's why that we are dealing with the all type of vehicles, which kind of market really like to use.
Well, are you therefore of the view that the tendency to own a two-wheeler or own a car is going to come down? People would like to lease more.
I think so. Especially that India is probably the most advanced sharing economy country. So that the people moving and the people changing a job to kind of getting more kind of higher destinations and a good job, right? So that having asset is sometimes a burden for everyone. So just using the vehicles. So that's kind of a sub. That's why that the people are shifting from owning the vehicle to that using the vehicles. So that's why that, and also, as you know, that electrification coming in,
Yes.
then that the differentiation for the vehicle is now very difficult, which means that the vehicles are more commoditized. Then why people don't have to kind of own the vehicles, such a kind of a commodity products. So just the people like to use just kind of for the more kind of fit to the good vehicles for some applications. Sometimes they need SUVs, sometimes they need two-wheelers, sometimes they need sports cars, sometimes they need sedans. They don't have to own.
Wow. And you see that trend, in your words, increasing with electrification. And really, is that the MBSI experience in India? Perhaps you could dwell upon that.
Actually, that we are just starting the business.
Yeah.
We just kind of passed 1 year has passed, but already kind of 70% of assets are EVs. That only for the two-wheeler, so to say, about half of the two-wheelers are already EVs. We are just kind of reflecting the market needs, right? That's a kind of, but still kind of people have some concerns about the durabilities or what's happening in the 3 years later for the vehicles. We make sure to kind of providing that the vehicle can use longer.
Again, on the MBSI experience in India, what kind of customers do you see in this trend of staying away from ownership? Are they largely youngsters? I mean, what's your customer base like? I'm very curious to know.
I think that the various different segments of customers, but I think of course that the kind of young people, 20s, 30s, they are kind of more shifting to that the just using the vehicles, not owning the vehicles. So that they are kind of now that the major driver to kind of creating the markets.
And you see that pace intensifying.
Yeah.
And when you see what you see today at the component show, the focus on electric, it goes in line with your business plan for MBSI.
Of course.
Wow. You've, of course, worked in Africa also.
Yes.
And you created the same model.
Same model in West Africa, especially in Nigeria.
Right.
Their business already kind of becoming bigger than our Indian business.
Oh, wow. Okay. But the lessons from India must have been India is a much more diverse country. So, are there
Yes.
lessons from India that you use for Africa and vice versa? Does that happen?
Yeah, I think so. And also that the India and Africa are very closely kind of related.
Okay.
And many kind of Indian people working at the West Africa and East Africa,
Right.
right?
Right.
And most of industrial goods coming from either China or India.
Right.
But for the vehicles mobility service, I think these areas are more kind of Indian companies kind of having the presence
Right.
in the markets.
Right.
So that these are kind of a good combination,
Right.
India and Africa. They work together and grow together.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm curious because now you've created the business in Africa, you're creating the business in India. Do you think this model can be replicated to parts of Southeast Asia and to other parts of the world?
Yes, but the South Asia, the environment a bit different because the players different. But now that I think we see that the same trend, especially in the young peoples, especially in the young peoples.
Right.
So the mostly that the history are different. So that but the young people share the same kind of concept. So that I think that the South Asia may be coming a little late, but as kind of young people getting kind of more popularity, I think that the same trend coming in the Southeast Asia. And also other surrounding countries, Middle East and Central Asia. I think there are lots of opportunities.
Wow. But you're saying India will be perhaps the biggest in terms of.
Yes. Yeah, India is the biggest and also that the most advanced sharing economy, as I said. So that you are creating new trends and that also that creating that the service products and you can leading that such a kind of surrounding countries as well.
Right. But Shiraishi-san, if leasing becomes the way forward, from your point of view, what should manufacturers do? Should they also be ready to face an all-new business model in the future? What is your view?
You know that in the most of advanced countries, 70% of GDP came from service business. Manufacturing business only account for 10% to 20%. Right? If you need to grow more, every manufacturing company try to do some service business. That's my belief. That's why Yamaha creating some kind of mobility service business, right? So the service is more kind of local oriented business. That's why we need to get into each local markets and learn the cultures, peoples, regulations. But we need to kind of bring in some sort of common experience and knowledge to each market and grow the business in the various international countries.
So for our viewers also to understand better, MBSI is not about building brand Yamaha.
No, not only,
Not only.
but also of course, but once customer require a kind of Yamaha brand products, we of course, but not only the Yamaha, but also the other products.
Right. But Yamaha's own experience with MBSI is it's also pleased with It's
Yeah,
also
maybe that the Yamaha can learn what the kind of customer's behavior. So that we are the kind of most advanced edge, and we are dealing with such an advanced customer. So that the Yamaha can learn from those experience, then ready for the next generation. That's the kind of way of thinking.
Wow. Shiraishi-san, finally, give us an idea of what MBSI, you started the business, you're happy with the pace of change. Give us an idea of what the road ahead is going to be like. I mean, in terms of initiatives of MBSI, the kind of things you're planning to do.
Actually, we don't know. We just started, and opportunity is there.
Right.
And as I said, that maybe that the new generation coming in, that the customer needs that kind of some new services and some new products. We are always with them, right? So that we may kind of expanding our business, of course, because that the demand is there.
Yes.
The competition may be coming in, but we try to kind of sharpen our competitive advantage, which is kind of based on that more kind of a good talents, so that we continue to invest in our people and continue to generating that new advanced service for the markets.
Shiraishi-san, I wish you the very best. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Juan-san.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.